wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the Commander Smiths at patreon.com. Ooh, welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
It is SmithCon week. Woo!
Yes.
And we have these special t-shirts. Look at this shit. SmithCon 2023, baby. So yeah, this is
I'd rather get a vasectomy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Or because of SmithCon?
I know that's
what's going on there.
Like if you look at
it
that,
definitely looks like that for
it
SmithCon.
totally does. I was like, actually, that works out perfect. Like SmithCon 2023, I'd rather get a vasectomy. Like that's like perfect for this. But yeah, so SmithCon.
Right. But the front of the shirt is what's on your shirt that says "Got Malort." And I just realized that I didn't put on my Commander Smith shirt.
So you are just wearing a regular shirt.
Yeah, just regular shirt day for me.
What the hell, man?
Oh wait, Red Shy, come on. Stop.
It did start at 9. That's when the counters started. And I actually, J13, Jesus put the, you're late. And I forgot I was over button. So then I pressed what I thought was the wizard is never late. It was just a different Gandalf button. It's the one spec. So it still kind of fit, you know? And then I was like, oh shit, go to the other one. So,
that doesn't work. Yeah. I would have just let that play out, expecting it to be
one spec to rule.
The one that I thought. I hear Gandalf. That's right.
Well, yeah, this is episode 276, and we are celebrating the SmithCon 2023. So second year of SmithCon is happening Friday and Saturday and part of Sunday and all that stuff. Oh, really quick. There is some shout outs in the beginning that I have to re-edit the beginning stuff. So there's some new people. We have some Garuk Dong and Golden Garuk Dong people. We'll get to that when we do the tags and stuff. But just in case people are watching like, what? You didn't change the name. You didn't put my name on there. It'll get edited in at some point here. Not in this episode, but sometime here.
Okay. And then these people that just crossed a threshold, they're getting play mats, right?
Right. Yep. So when you reach $100 donating total, like YouTube, and we keep track of that, YouTube and Patreon, you get the regular SmithCon or Commander Smith playmat, which is the one that you can see on our background there. And then you have the Kill the Smith one. All right. And then if you reach 500 or more, that's the regular one there.
I'll find the Kill the Smith one.
Okay. Yeah. And then, so if you end up being $500 or more in total donations, again, that's everything. So if you're on any of the live feeds donating for the Malort shots or the jelly beans, we total that up each month because we can kind of see where all it is. If you reach that threshold, this is the only way you can get these playmats is the Kill the Smiths one. So it has that spray paint thing and all that stuff on there. So that I think there's 7 people we have in that with another one included this week. So that's pretty sweet. So yeah, this is episode 276. What do we have in store for this week's episode, Lau?
Good question. What?
I was drinking.
I think what we're doing is we're going to be discussing. I fucked up everything with this playmat thing.
Yeah. Your brain is fix things.
Main segment's gonna be talking about goldfishing, why you should or shouldn't do it. I think we're both pretty pro goldfishing. We're just gonna discuss it, make sure that you're doing it. Yeah, what it is, because there is MTG Goldfish out there,
right?
And there's a reason why they have that name, and it was this term. We'll just keep it in the main segment.
Yeah.
Next, we will talk about the first round going into the second round of matchups for the tournament that we did last week, which were vehicles.
Were you like trying to remember? I could tell your sentence was going longer. Like the tournament that we started and we drafted, there were 16 of them. And we chose from, oh yes, it's vehicles. Yes.
Vehicles. Words. And
then we have what the bleep or
oh yeah, what the bleep. That's me. I knew there was something that I was supposed to plan. So I got that down.
Because Lowry, controversial if you haven't watched it yet. The questions, I misled Lowry because I changed it in the middle of the game and then made him more confused. And in fact, I was trying to help, but instead I made it more difficult. And so Lowry got stumped by Ryan,
when I was doing the editing, I definitely sounded more upset than I was. I tried to cut up the audio version of it so it wasn't so long, because I think that went a while.
Yeah.
But
I could tell it was Hey Zeus. Oh God, are we doing take your medicine? Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
All right. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while since Malort, which is gonna be a lot this weekend. And I'm drinking a bourbon whiskey, so I wasn't thinking.
Got cocky.
Yeah, I didn't think we were gonna get any. Give me a second. I gotta turn my fan hotter because it's warmer in here. So give me a sec while we pour this.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, hang on. All right.
As I said to Scott yesterday, without Adam, I'm nothing. I can't do any of this without you. So
stare at the camera.
We can edit that out, right? We can't.
Yeah. So in the Stump the Smith Savant stuff, I could tell you were not mad. I just knew that something was up because it was like, and here's the card, and you were just sitting there staring at it, and you're like, I don't like the clues.
I didn't like the clues one bit.
I was like, fuck. All right, time to backpedal and
that's
explain
okay.
myself.
It's okay.
Actually, I do want to give you the shout out right now since you are yeah, I'm pouring right now. But Jesus, you have made it into the Garuk Dong level, and actually was before that. You made it before that donation there. So that you were one of the shout outs that we were going to give. And actually might as well give the other shout out. The Golden Garuk Dong went to Bill, who had us take shots the other week. That got him right over the cap.
Bill from Woodbury?
Yeah, Bill from Woodbury got over the cap. So
oh boy.
Yeah, thank you guys, first of all.
Thank you.
Congratulations for
congrats.
getting so thank you guys very much. Jesus, I don't think you won any of the Commander Smith playmat prizes. I think you won the other stuff. So you won't have a duplicate. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't there.
That's a good point. He won 2 things.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was like, did he win a playmat?
He's a lucky son of a gun.
Yeah, so that's really the only way you get the playmats is from winning when we do prizes and or donations and all that. So what did we decide? Were we going to do a different thing for the Malort button? You remember you told me, what was the button?
It was going to be your mom.
Oh, hey, no need for these your mom jokes, Lowry. What the hell, man? It was gonna be your mom.
That's so stupid.
All right. Let's see if I can go find that button. I think it's on the last page.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be your mom.
I was like surprised. Oh, it's your mom.
All right, here it is.
Those people that make you drink that.
Jesus. You're one of those people right now. Should we do it?
Yep. Thanks.
All right.
To SmithCon 2023. Oh, I took that one quick. Normally I let it simmer in the mouth. It's like I forgot how to take.
Yep. Yeah, that is volatile.
Why did I do that? I didn't do my normal ritual of taking Malort. Ugh. And now I'm chasing it with a bourbon on the rocks.
Yeah, that's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Oh, speaking of the bourbon, it's a birthday present. Studio Distilling, which is out of St. Paul, and it is a bourbon whiskey, 46% alcohol. So this guy's gonna be wasted.
Well, I'm having a Mind Haze Citrus Cyclone IPA from Firestone. That's solid. They have solid. Nothing nothing I've had is fantastic, but they're solid, very drinkable.
Ugh. Ew. Did you see what Jesus said? He said, I've done a Malort shot every Monday, even when I couldn't make it to the live cast. I'm glad that Mondays are Monday Malort days. Monday
Mondays are Malort day. Yep. And then it's Taco Tuesday, and I can tell you which one's more popular.
Matt,
you don't see any Malort bells running around, do you?
Matt Sampson, exactly. He said, Adam loves to let it simmer in the mouth for a second. Or I think actually a dirty joke. Okay. Yeah, it's going to get cut up. Watch out. Cole's going to get you.
Thanks, Cole. Yep, somebody. Better than my right nipple. But
it was funny that number 2 did the one picture and of him jumping in the pool, like the sideways jump on the Discord. Yeah. And then what was it? Alex or Ibukagi was like, I tried to get the nipple, it just wasn't good enough quality because he also was turned. I was hoping to be it.
It was definitely an action shot.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Speaking of action, I got to play Diablo all weekend.
Jeez, wow. All right, slow down there. All right. Speaking about action, you got none because you were playing video games. Okay.
My only parenting of the weekend was putting my kids to bed last night. Like, basically, Cindy acted like I wasn't here, which there was a couple times she came in to talk to me, and I'm like doing dungeon runs, and then she's just like, you're obviously not listening to me, so I'm going to go. I'm like, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I put in 50 plus hours. Starting Thursday night, I put in a few hours there.
That's a lot.
And then every day was like 12 to 16
Did you wear
hours.
a diaper or?
I did not do the the South Park thing where I just shit and sat here. No.
I think I know somebody, not like it's a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure I know somebody that wore a diaper on a new expansion of WoW when it came out. It was like one of the bosses of a store that I was working at. He's like, I'm going to be gone for the next week. I'm like, okay. He's like, for the first 48 hours, I wear a couple diapers. And I'm like,
that's
you shouldn't
crazy.
tell me this. I'm just
something you keep to yourself.
Right. He was like an assistant manager to the store, and I was just a fucking, delivering assembly guy. And I was like, I work here 2 days a week. Don't talk. What are you doing to me?
I will say I lost 2 pounds sitting and not doing anything because I barely ate. Like I was just like, no time to eat. Play. Because I had to get it out of my system. I went through it took like 40 hours to beat the game. That's just getting through like the normal, and then the real game starts after that, kind of. But the storyline, took me 40 hours, and then I played with people on the Discord. I played with number 2. I played with Quinn, played with brother Joe, played with Cole. So I got a few people in there, and I actually saw a lot of people from our Discord playing because you can kind of see that on all that. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay,
you did a great job. Discord, I saw it flying. There was lots of talking and all that stuff, and I was like, Laura,
definitely a lot.
I'm not, and way more than normal on a weekend. I was like, holy shit, why is all this talk happening? And I can't even partake in this. But you did a good job taking the helm and making sure it just kept going. So,
I know it's like
thanks.
2 minutes late. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna do this one too, but it's too loud.
I couldn't. Oh yeah,
There we go. Wrench size.
What a bunch of. Oh, did you hit nerds? Did you hit it?
Yeah, that's what can you not hear the button?
No, it's so loud.
Can you hear the button?
No, it like makes like a screechy sound, and I have no idea what's happening. So yeah, we might have to work on your buttons stuff. Not your problem. It's just something.
Well, I'm hitting. You hear this, right? The
beep. Yeah, I heard the beep.
Okay.
Very, very lightly. So.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's my weekend in a nutshell. What'd you do? Nothing.
Stuff. Put together a grill.
Oh, how'd that go? Adult stuff.
It's together, but the gas tank has been sitting there for like 2 years at this point. So it the rubber seal was definitely not working, and so when I like
leaking out,
connect everything, and it's going, and it's like pushing gas on my hand. I'm like, oh, that's an explosion. Let's turn that off, and I still have to return it.
So you have
to do an exchange or whatever
of your tank, not the grill.
Correct, the tank.
That's I actually just had to do that too. Mine didn't make that; just made a hissing sound, and then you could smell the propane. So I was like, "Man, that's not a good thing."
Yeah, I could feel it was like a gas fart on my hand. Tried it a couple times, different, but it just Just probably bad. Then I restained a store or some floors.
Whoa!
And posted on Discord. Yeah, I was industrious.
I was sitting in this spot right here, looking
you
at
got a butt
same screen.
Like curve into your seat now. I'm guessing.
So I got this nice secret lab chair, secret layer, secret lab. No, that'd be sweet. That's
Just
what secret layer
lab.
should do.
All right.
They should partner with secret lab chairs
instead of a Phyrexian box.
Yeah.
Get a Phyrexian chair.
Which I still haven't even gotten that. That's not coming until like August, I think, at this point. Which
really?
They really missed the boat on that. The first time around, they got those suckers out quick with the Phyrexians.
The dragons?
No, yeah, right. The dragons, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. And that came out, I think they only waited a month and those were delivered. This is like 5-6 months at this point. They're going to be, well, by the time it gets here. Right. Anyways, I was saying that this is going to be a shorter episode, so I don't want to keep doing what we're doing.
You're wrong. You're going to be wrong.
We don't have Stump the Smith Savant, so it might be long when we get to What the Bleep, because I am going to probably be hammered and I'm not going to know any of it. Because
we can start with that after the tags.
All right, that's probably a good idea because you're better with Stump the Smith Savant getting a little booze. I think I'd get worse with getting a little booze in the system. A no good for you moment. I'll hit it for myself. We got an accepted offer on our Florida place.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so we listed it.
You just put that up, right?
On Saturday, and we got an accepted offer as of this morning. So,
all right,
that is our last place. We will be out of Florida and then coming back here. Basically, we'll have. We're looking to try to get something here or whatever. So, cool story. That was the news.
Did you hit it?
I did.
You did cool story.
I didn't do cool story. I can do that.
Cool story,
there
bro.
we go. I got it.
All right.
It's
okay.
fair.
Fine. That's fine.
Okay.
And you didn't even know until after you put your kids to bed last night, right?
Yes.
Just like you came out of a cave and you're like, accept that offer. We're doing that.
I will say I worked every day, but it was like I woke up, worked for like an hour or two. Like it was like answer reservations, answer emails. And then I was like, it's Diablo time. And then it was 16 hours every day of Diablo. I wish I was getting paid for that because it'd be a great job. 16 hours of just playing video games.
Maybe you should stream it on YouTube next time.
I think it'd be boring. I tried to. So we were playing.
What do you think the podcast is? That's fine.
Well, then how about you play it too? And that'd be the best, actually. Be like, I don't even know what this is. Like, you'd be like when it's teaching people who have no idea what magic is, like, our wives, and like this monster thingy. Like, that's what you would be with Diablo, and it'd be pretty funny.
It definitely raise the pitch of my voice too.
You're like,
what's going on, guys?
What is this thing? What is
a space bar?
Yeah. So I did try to stream it on Discord, and because Renshai jumped on, he was like, "What are you nerds doing?" Because we were all playing together, and I tried to stream it, and then immediately, within like a minute, my audio went out and wouldn't come back on. I had to like completely shut down Discord.
Oh.
I don't know. So then I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not doing it." Anyways, cool story, bro. Let's get to the podcast. You're
right.
Not talking podcast. Next week, I think we're going to be talking Lord of the Rings, which we've been holding off for fucking Lord of the Rings. We're trying to do what we normally do with sets. We don't like to talk like as spoilers are coming, but next week is going to be a full episode of SmithCon.
We are excited.
And Lord of the Rings. And
that's probably it. Yeah. Maybe a versus.
Maybe just going. I don't even think. No, because I think those two things and just going through the results of the tournament, I think that's it. Well, and Stump. We'd have to add Stump in there. But I don't know.
We don't have to do Stump because it's the beginning, so we can put it off another week.
Yeah, we can.
That's fine.
All right, let's get to things. All right, tag time. Are you gonna time me? Tag time here. Get that.
I'm gonna taint you. Taint time you.
You can support the Commander Smiths by becoming a patron. $1 or more gets you into the Discord. $5 or more gets you proxies if you so choose every month. The higher move in those tiers, you can get foil proxies. And then if you get to different, like I mentioned before, congratulations. And actually, do I have a congratulations button? I don't even think I have that. How about this?
I would just say build a better deck.
That's a good button to always hit.
That's not how that.
Oh, wait. I got it. All right. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So we had the two new milestones for Jesus is reached the Garuk Dong level. Congratulations. And Bill from Wardbury reached the Golden Garuk Dong level.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
I have to use this button a lot more because that is a great button.
I don't think we get dinged for that, right?
No. Why would we get dinged for that? For penis? No, it's because the short was that. It
sounds weird too, and you're like, the penis? Yeah. No, the short was
the short was
your penis was that short. That's what I was saying.
That video is that pretty much. And so then we got
you're right.
We got dinged for actually it wasn't even that, it was the title because I put my penis. What card gets you hard?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So that is a financial way to support the show. You could jump on the live streams on YouTube like you're doing here if you are watching right now. You could donate like J13, which is also Jesus, giving Malort shots, Bean Boozled shots, hot beans on the other streams, all the other fun stuff. Why'd you think there? Because I said,
well, it just sounded like you were saying that we're going to take a Bean Boozled shot.
Oh, did I say Bean Boozled shot? Yeah,
Bean
Boozled. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm watching as if I see a twinge by you, I'm like, I did something wrong there. Yeah.
I do not want to take a shot with Bean Boozles in them. That is not what I was signed up for.
In the drink, like try that with a Malort. I wonder if it tastes better.
Not Malort. What are you doing to us? Add $1 onto the $15 one. If it's 16, 17, one per, and then it's a jelly bean Malort shot. That's
how much time do I have?
It's not good either way.
How much time do I have?
Oh, you're screwed.
Well, because
you might as well start.
You got to give me a time. Like
you're halfway, 2.5.
Oh, that's easy because I can just burn through the rest of it. I'll just skip your curated.
I have curated.
Just skip it.
I don't have ready for tomorrow, but.
So that is one way you guys could donate on the live stream stuff. We are working to get probably some new cameras so we can do some more live stream games. So that is our next goal after SmithCon here. That's kind of what we're going to be shooting for. So that is anything you guys donate. It helps us. It goes right back into the show. Helps with like our giveaways and all that stuff too. So the other thing the free way to support the show is to subscribe to YouTube. That's all you got to do. It helps us out. Subscribe there. Watch our videos. We had a few videos last week. It was a little lower. It was mainly you last week. Curated MTG. What was your curated last week or what is tomorrow or whatever you choose?
I don't have anything ready for tomorrow. It's probably going to be
okay. What'd you do
late.
This weekend?
It's probably going to be.
What was the one you had to redo?
Thank you. I needed some type of Ragna's Sanction. That is 3 and a white sorcery. You pick friend or foe, your friends, everybody gets to put 1/1 counters on all their creatures, and the foes have to choose one creature to stay untapped and then tap the rest. And so it's a good way to get through. It's a good way to put counters on stuff. And it's pretty cool.
Sweet. So biggest thing with the shorts, like curated MTG, is just make sure you watch them all the way through and give those things a like. That's what helps us out. I also forgot I did do a proxy time video of all the Lord of the Rings stuff that I have made proxies of over the last few years. And so you can check out those as foil proxies, and they look pretty damn sweet. So both those videos, you guys can watch those all the way through. We also, we hit 1,000 on TikTok and then went back down to 999. So if you're on TikTok, follow us there. That'll help us out, hit 1,000. Nothing really happens there at this point. Just follow us. The other place you can follow us is Moxfield. You can check out our decks that we have sitting there. So YouTube, you had a switcheroo, right? You did switcheroo.
Right.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I did 8 decks.
Holy
Sunday night.
shit.
Right. I was blazing. I was not smoking weed, but I was just going as fast as I could.
Yeah, it would have been funny. You being stoned and doing it. You're like, switch out cards, and then you go through again and you switch them back in. You're like, oh, these cards are really. I think these should go back.
We're done. Cut it off. Anything else you need to say?
You can go to Twitter. We're there.
See, the curated is totally fucks it all up.
And you could
2.5 minutes on everything, and then 2.5 minutes on curated.
Yeah.
We know that's my fault.
At gmail.com. That's where you can send the suggestions for this. Oh wait, actually, no,
we do have a button for this.
Yeah, And that's where you can send the suggestion for this. Well, not this, but if we have.
Oh, actually, that's a really good point. I just don't know how you're going to get it to me.
Oh, you can email with it. And then if it's there, I can let you know.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
This doesn't happen very often. I could do it. It's fine.
Right. And wait, let me change the video to like Stump the Smith Savant. Because let me get rid of our last week's flavor text there.
Yeah.
And here we go. It's time for everyone's second favorite game show.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the f is that?
What the bleep is that? Yeah, that's a good question. All right, this game is for Adam. Whenever I lose Stump the Smith Savant, what I do is I take parts of card names and try and make them dirty. Last time I did this, I was going really quick, and it was just parts of names. This one's a little bit dirtier, so think of it in a, this is what we might change the name of it to, but that's what she said.
Okay.
And that's,
yeah.
Or just think dirty about it, and then it kind of works a lot better. All right.
All right.
Not everything. Not everything. There is 10 of them. Yes. And hold on a second.
Oh, I will not look at chat.
Even
even though I eliminated chat, I can still see chat there, so I will make sure to not look over there.
Right. Okay. All right. So, first one out of 10. Hydrocrassus.
Hydro. Wait, say it again. It cut out.
Hydrocrassus.
Well, isn't that the
kind
name?
Of hydro is like weed.
But isn't that the name?
Not. Hydro.
But it's the big.
It's a hydro. Missing something. Crassus.
Well,
it sounds like a weed though. Somebody needs to start a weed strain of.
So I was thinking it's the blue-green Hydra, right? From Ravnica or Return to Ravnica or not Return.
Yeah, one of the Ravnicas.
Whatever the one with the crown upside down.
Yeah,
or the bridge. Hydro. I thought it was Hydrocrassus. I thought that's the name of it.
It's not Hydro. It's shortened.
What?
Hydroid. Hydroid. Crassus.
No, what is it? It's high.
That's what it is.
Oh, what is
I'm telling you? That's what I'm telling you.
What is it?
It's Hydroid.
Oh, it's Hydroid?
Yeah.
Oh.
OID.
So
all right.
What did you say it was?
That's Hydro.
So
Hydrocrassus is Hydroid. Crassus.
So it was just the oid is all it was missing in that?
Just the id. Just the id. Dude, that's a wrong one for you.
Close.
I'm sorry.
It was so close that I thought that's what the name was. I'm like,
Hydro. All right, whatever. All right, it's a drug thing. You wouldn't get it.
No,
you straight laced thing. I saw a movie with it once. I think. I don't know.
I have no idea.
All right, this is gonna have 2 spaces. This is a 2-lettered card.
Hey, guess what? Ted got
what?
it. Surprise! Surprise!
See?
I'm just kidding, Ted.
Because he does drugs.
Drugs are bad.
Not a lot. I don't think anything crazy.
I'm bringing drugs for SmithCon. Oh, I should have said it on the air. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, no, you shouldn't have.
It's legal here. It's legal here.
Okay, so this is a 2-worded card.
Okay.
And it's going to have 2 gaps in it. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Ass corn.
Ass corn.
Ass corn.
So it's ass, and then there's a blank, and then corn and a blank, or is it ass?
Correct.
Blank corn.
No, it's ass blank corn blank.
Man, these are tough this week.
It's an artifact.
What does it do?
Taps for mana. Technically could have been in our 3-mana rock tournament. Was not drafted.
I was just about to say, I wish we would have had ass corn as our 3 round. Oh. Ass corn. I don't like that. I don't like ass corn. Is there any other hints you can give me?
You don't have to keep on saying it, but I appreciate that. So it's
is it like
mana cost
astronomy?
is X. No, it's
Or-
XXX.
Okay,
Originally
yeah.
from a Theros block.
Yeah, I know it. I can picture the one.
When you're saying astronomy, you're on the right track.
I can see the chat is there. I got to cover it because I know they probably have it. If I could get the first word, then I could get it here. You made this.
It is not spelled out ASS. It's AS, but it's said like
As. Isn't it as? Oh, I get what you're saying. Astrology? No.
Different word, but same. It's kind of like a different. Like I wanna say that.
What is the second word's? Do you have a?
I'll do the second word's full name. And
Okay.
that's cornucopia.
Oh shit. No, I don't think I'm gonna get this one. I know the card, but
Astral cornucopia.
astral.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. It might be astral.
No, it's still like the name doesn't like snap to me either. I know the
Not
picture
right
of
in
what
your
you're
head.
talking about.
Okay, we're gonna take that one away. This
let me
is
see.
definitely
Let
your
me
worst
check
one
really
so
quick.
far.
Matt Sampson got it. Astral something. Oh wait, no. Jeff said assassins. No. Renshai.
Those
Surprisingly,
All right.
Renshai got the full
Renshai.
name.
I
Yeah.
knew he'd get that ass corn.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Reflecting poo.
So the poo is reflecting. Reflecting pool is the
Correct.
the card.
There we
you
go. All right. Oh, this one's gonna be a tough one. You actually like this card, but it's a stretch. Okay, so it is. Yeah. All right. Cement end.
It doesn't
Just a
help.
stretch.
Is that supposed to be semen and it
It's
was
supposed to sound like that, yeah.
so what was the second word?
End.
Okay.
End.
Semen
So
end.
it's Sema blank. Second word end.
and I play with this card.
Yes, you do like it.
I like semen every day.
You
All right.
like cement.
Semen.
It is a white card that blinks.
No.
Might be.
End. So end is the full word. The second word is end, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Semester's end. All right, there we go.
Yes.
Semester's
There we
end. All right.
go.
I was
There
like,
we
what
go.
card do I play with? That helped with the blinking. No
All
one
right.
got that one before me.
Here we go. This is something that you say like right before you climax, but
Oh.
release the grandma.
Release the Kraken. What is it? Release the what?
Release the grandma.
Gremlins? No.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Release the Gremlins?
Release the gremlins. It's a red card. I wouldn't expect you to know that one. All right. This one's bad. Come storm.
Comet Storm. That's
It's
Come Storm. This is terrible. That's what she said.
All right. This one is thanks to Renshai on a deck building one, but Bone Shredder. That's just the name of the card, and it
I was
sounds
just gonna
disgusting,
say.
right?
I was like, isn't that the name of the card? It's like,
It's
what am I
scary.
guessing? What am I?
It's scary name. All right, this is also awful, and this is potentially cancelable, but Deep Forest Her.
Deep Forest Hermit.
Yes. Yes. Very nice. Congrats
I
on
should
that.
be. Wait, why am I not? I should be doing.
Oh, you're right.
Hello, boobies.
You're right. You're right. Ah.
Was that all of them?
Nope.
Okay,
We
good.
have two more.
Okay,
Two more.
good.
All right. So this is
Wait, Matt Simpson had a good one for boner shredder. Should have been
just adding stuff. That makes it tough.
Yeah, that would be tough. I'd be like, ah.
All right, this one I don't expect you to know. So it's word blank blank word. So
I thought that was it. I was like,
no.
What? Word blank blank word. What?
Vain post.
So word blank.
So it's vain blank blank post.
Oh.
Vain post. That's a I'm sure it's a euphemism for hard on.
So this
right?
is
that's how I'm looking at it.
This is is it a 2-word, but you just have the blanks in there?
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's two words, 2 blanks.
Yep.
So kind of like ask horn.
Ask. Okay. Vain post. Can I get is it
It's
one of those
common?
Is it one of those lands that well,
it's not a land.
But it comes in, it's those ones that only have 5. It doesn't have the full cycle of them that you like, the dual.
Oh, yeah. I think you're in the right.
Where you chose one of those for something we did.
Yep.
Those post lands or post.
That was 3 mana rock.
3. Okay, yeah. I'm not going to get the name. I just know when you had the post in there.
That's good enough for me. I'm giving it to you. It's Vain Fire Border Post.
Okay. Border post I maybe could have got, but I wouldn't have got Vain Fire at all.
Right. It's all right, last one. Mass Worm.
Massacre Worm?
Massacre Worm. There we go. That is it.
Nice.
You
Hello,
kinda,
boobies.
That was all over the place.
There. You did
a little
good. You
tougher.
just missed up on the 2. I was worried there for a second. Those first 2 must have been rough.
That was tough. Actually, I like if chat can get it before me, I will give you guys shout outs to that. So every time we do the answer, I will check over at chat and see if anybody beat me. Yeah. We might change the name to That's What She Said is what we were kind of thinking.
Right.
Kind of
Mass Worm. That's what she said.
I always like the mass worm. All right. Yeah. Let's get over to our main topic. I don't know how I want to do this. Do we do... Give me a second here. If we can do the goldfishing picture, and then we can kind of chat about it and just have it on our screen here.
There's no assassin worm out there. Come on. But you're right. I'm sure that's what she said.
The good old ass worm. I'm gonna see if I can get this. All right, here we go. Come on, pictures. We have a lot of thumbnails, like a lot of thumbnails.
Okay.
And the problem,
use them all?
Well, no, the thumbnails for our podcast. So that's what I'm going to use. So we can just kind of have that as a background and doing stuff on the fly, not preparing.
How about this? I can start talking about goldfishing. You got it, kind of. Yeah. All right.
So
goldfishing is when you have a deck and you basically just start playing through it on your own. I don't even think I wouldn't add in other decks just with yourself. I think that's what you've done in the past. Where you like goldfish decks against each other.
Yeah,
that's a step that you can do.
When we were kids, I did that. Yeah.
So that's a step that you can do. And then the problem is just going like, well, I know what he has, so I'm not going to do this. And I know this is bad for me.
I want this deck to win, and it's like a new deck, and you're like playing against an older deck. And it's like, well, that's when I was a kid. I'm like, I'll let this one just fly, but I won't kill that, or I won't do this. But yeah, no,
I won't block this and kill it. That's
goldfishing. Yeah, go ahead. You keep going. You started
all it is just playing a deck through, and you are looking for certain things, and that's kind of what we can get into. But my goldfishing, when I do it, they're about 10-minute turns, and I play as fast as I can.
You mean 10 minutes?
Because intervals. So I go for about 10 minutes roughly. That's generally how it is, unless something is going wrong. And this is where one of the things that I have is like, my decks are well oiled, as as it's been said. They generally work.
Good for you.
Yeah, that is probably the first time you've used that button accurately in the last 2 months. I'll take that.
Thank you.
but the decks, that's why I goldfish, is so that I know that I can go multiple turns deep and have it work.
Yeah. Well, should we? You did the
and that's why I do it. That's why I do it.
So there's a lot to the why. We can get into.
Yep.
So, but goldfishing. Let's keep with the definition really quick, just so like I know a lot of people listening probably know what it is, especially people that are veteran players, whatever. But there are probably a lot of people that are like, what the fuck is goldfishing? It's a website you can go to, and you have saffron olive. That's what goldfishing is, right? No. But I mean, what goldfishing, like you said, is it's more of a solitaire with magic. So what you're really trying to do is see how the deck flows. You're just playing it through. Like Larry said, you do 10-minute intervals. When I
don't time it out, but that's generally when I see myself going, okay, the deck is working,
doing what it wants to do. Yep. And so I actually noticed that when I did our first live stream of goldfishing for one of our decks, which we are going to consistently start doing. That's kind of why the topic came up. It's not that this is new for us. It's just we're finally getting to the part where we wanted to do all this stuff for our spotlight stuff. But each run through mine end up being about 6 to 8 turns. Probably 6 to 10 turns. That's probably a range. And it's about 10 minutes. So it fits in what you're saying there. You run it until you get the flow. I basically will run it to see a lot of things. Like one is, first off, it's how is the land? Like, am I getting enough land in this? Am I missing my drops? Do I not have enough ramp? So that's like the basics of it. You're trying to see, do you have,
and that's what I look for as well.
Yeah.
Like that, we're kind of getting into the,
now
it is part of the why, but what are you looking for when you're doing it? So what are you doing when you're doing it? You're not just playing it through and just going, yeah,
I like that.
That's a deck.
Yeah, right.
You know, like there are times where if you're in sports and you sit down and you like watch a video of a game or practice or whatever, and the coach doesn't say anything, you're just watching it for 10, 15 minutes and like, all right, let's go practice. You didn't do anything. You didn't discuss what happened. What are you looking for, coach? Like there are reasons why you goldfish. And the first one you should be looking at is your land base.
Right.
Are you hitting your colors? Are you drawing enough land? Like part of that is on the curve. Are you playing cards every turn? That's part of that too, right?
Yeah.
But that's all land based. That's land based at that point. Are you hitting your land drops?
And Matt Sampson just asked, and it's going to pop up. You're going to see it here in a second. He said, do you play test on Moxfield or is it just in paper? So this is kind of the fun thing is now that I've transitioned all my deck building to Moxfield, and I'm guessing you most of the time do paper, right? You just play the cards out.
So here's the thing that I've started doing recently is playing on Moxfield, but that's because I have a lot of wait time for kids when you're waiting for them to do stuff, or they're eating breakfast and you're done, or you're cleaning or whatever, supposed to be cleaning. That's when I'll play a deck. So I get the deck done on, when we record, and then I input it. And as I'm cutting, also it's really easy when you're down to like 80 cards on Moxfield, then you can cut it as you go when you have a little bit of time. And then once you get there, then you can play test and go, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. You try and make mental notes or in your, the sideboard that they allow you to have there too.
So
and you add in cards going, okay, this could help, this could not.
So do you, lately, have you been doing it more on Moxfield than with the actual cards?
It's just all about timing. Okay. So like when the kids are going to sleep and I sit there for 45 minutes, I'll goldfish it, about 4 or 5 times. It's a little slower on Moxfield just because
I was going to say the other way around.
You got to click things. No, in paper, I can do it a lot faster.
Well, the reason why I was going to say it's faster for me on Moxfield is the reshuffle stuff and searching through the deck and all that stuff. Like when I'm like, oh, I'm going to, do a fetch land. And I'm like, I want Tundra. type in Tundra, boom, it's there, pop it out. Or if I have a starting hand, I'm like, I don't like this hand, restart. It just click, 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 and it's just really quick. I used to do paper, but now all the testing, fine tuning it happens on Goldfish. Then, or Goldfishing, I should say, not gold, but you know what I'm saying, on Moxfield. And then getting it into the wild is my testing it, you know, and if I make changes, then at that point, it's a card here or there. So I never do play testing again with paper. When I go to paper, it's then just playing with people at that point. Cause
okay.
For me, it takes a long time to reshuffle that whole thing up. Like I'm like, oh, I didn't like that hand, reshuffle or whatever. Whereas Goldfishing on Moxfield, it makes it a lot easier, but it's just different preferences and all that stuff.
Well, so that's one thing that I do as well. So like if I get a bad hand, number one, I notate that in Goldfishing. So we will normally take, you know, you can go like, okay, are we drawing our 8, 9, 9, or 10?
Right.
Depending on where you are on the order. I always just take 7.
Yeah.
And then I see how that hand is when I'm Goldfishing.
Right.
So that it's going, this is real. It only kind of gets better with our style of mulligans.
Right.
And so like, I know if it's working 90% of the time, it will work in real life. So I don't get too wrapped up about that. So like, if I'm doing that and I got a bad hand, I'll just put it together and then put it at the bottom. And then I draw a new 7.
Okay.
And then I don't have to shuffle or anything and just see how that is. And then if that's also bad, then you can go, maybe it's clumped and start looking through or reshuffle it up and be a little bit more careful.
So if you
but generally on that second one, it's not bad.
If you were to say percentage wise, how often, I don't want to be hung up on this, I'm just curious, how often, what is your percentage of Moxfield compared to paper Goldfishing for you personally?
Oh, probably like 30-70, 30 on Moxfield.
Okay. See, that's a good mix.
So I do a lot more on paper.
And this is going to pat ourselves in the back a little bit, but this is the kind of the cool thing. If you guys haven't watched the Spotlight videos, Spotlight deck stuff, it is giving you 2 different styles of doing stuff. And Moxfield building was not the way I used to do it. It's how I do it now. It makes it very easy. But Lowry does the good old fashioned, I have the cards, I'm looking at them, going through the deck, blah, blah, blah. And I did mine used to be, before Moxfield was to that extent, it was that, but on paper. And I'd go through and I'd write every card down. Think of that. Writing
I don't know if I
every
would do
fucking card down and then scratching it off as you go. But so that's the cool thing is we're giving you 2 different styles. So you can test it on Moxfield, or you can test, you do your normal play test with your cards and all that, and building and all that stuff. Lowry builds, you're seeing the physical cards that Lowry's going through when he's doing his Spotlight videos. I'm doing all my stuff on Moxfield. So it fits everything. So it's a little pat on the back. It's just, but it's giving you different variations because everybody does things differently. And that's kind of the cool thing. But anyways, back to the Goldfishing stuff. Let's get into some of the more of the important things. Like we mentioned, the first things you want to look at is land base, making sure you're hitting those lands. We talked about that, making sure.
And again, we can maybe add in blueprint a little bit when we're talking about this. Sure. But like, I generally am in 36 to 38, but like when you goldfish decks, that's when you can tell if you're flooding or shorted. And so if you're shorted, you know that you're screwed. You know that you are either your curve is too high or you don't have enough lands in there. It could be either. You got to know if you're adding it down. But if you're being flooded, then either you know that you can lower your curve or mess with your curve or take out lands.
Right.
And so that's something that I did with my Shadowborn Apostle Nithroid deck. I think I'm down to 24 land, which is the lowest amount of land that I'm in. Not 24, 34, maybe 32. I think I went down to 32.
Still.
Not 20s. Do I look like Quinn? Come on. Come on. So, but still, I'm pretty hard lined in the 36 to 38 range for all of my decks. And but once you start realizing you're going through the decks and you're going like, I have only land in my hand. I've played out my hand and I'm still drawing land. That's too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to figure that out. And that's where you can learn it before you get into a game.
So I will also add this in really quick too. I have done some goldfishing when my deck isn't all the way complete. So that can help a little bit with that. Here's how I do it though, because I have my, 36 to 38 lands. And if I'm at 150 cards, obviously you're not going to hit your land stuff. So what you kind of do is every third card you draw, just think that's a land. That's a land. And so you kind of almost replace that card, but you're more just, you kind of play it like you're not missing a land drop and playing out the deck that way and almost trashing one of the cards that you get. And then what that is getting the flow of everything else. The land part is first. Once you get 100, like that's the thing is I would say is like this kind of like a added thing. That's part of the building part. Goldfishing you normally want to do when the deck is complete. But I will say it has helped me finish cuts in a deck. So just adding that little tip in there, because then I've been like, well, this card doesn't like on paper on the deck build, it seems like it's really good. But then when you're actually playing it out and drawing the card and you're like, this doesn't fit, or maybe I don't have enough of this or whatever. So I started doing that a little bit the last two decks I built. Anyways, so
question from Samson here.
Yep.
Not to cut you off. Wait, did you have? Sorry,
no,
I probably should.
That was it.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
So Samson has a good question here. Is how many times do you run it? And as we're talking about it, and I gave my one example of how I've changed it. The one thing though that I think I say consistently is like I like my 36 to 38 range. And if you're, a lot of people are going to talk about percentages, and if you caught 1 or 2 land, it hardly matters. And so for me, it's more of a feel thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that feel could be whatever, but I've been doing it for a long time, so that's hard to quantify. But generally, like since I know I like that number and that number generally works for me, I kind of adjust the cards instead of my land base.
Yeah.
Generally. But that's something that you kind of learn when you do it a lot more. So like with Shadowborn Apostle, I have a lot of 1-drops, obviously. And so once you start going, okay, I got these 1-drops, I got a demon in my hand, let's say I'm never going to cast it unless I get these ramp cards. And so technically they don't matter. So I need to make sure that I can play my smaller stuff on curve and not worry about the demons that I want to cheat out anyway. Those or elves, you don't need to care about your lands as much, or something like the guy that sacrifices spirits for red mana. Like whenever you can cheat on mana, Savala, like Quinn does, even though I give him shit, it's very practical in he can generate a ton of mana with his commander, and you can cheat on land if you want to be greedy in those kind of decks.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying here is I don't know how many times it is for me to adjust my land base, because I know I like that 36 to 38 and I rarely change that. I change my curve.
Yeah.
And that's going to end up being the next thing that we want to maybe talk about a little bit is.
Well, I do want to mention really quick that Jeff did, we're going to get to this in a little bit here, but he is asking or saying goldfishing, the one problem, which is a problem. That is one of the things I note in here is, you miss the interaction stuff. So like, what I noted is removal and protection are the two things that seem worthless when you're goldfishing, because they get into your hand and you're just like, well, I can't deal with this. What I actually do is if I don't see one of those two things in 6 to 8 turns, then I'm lacking on something. If I'm not getting a remove, because you should have a removal. And sometimes what I do is I play it out. I'm like, most likely somebody's going to kill this and I will use this protection here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll use a heroic intervention or whatever here. And so I play it like I'm using it. It's this, I'm getting threatening here. Most likely somebody's going to remove something. So yes, you do miss out on the interaction stuff. And people can be like, oh, what Jeff said is it does really good gold fishing, but when I get it in real life, it doesn't do that well. You still want to kind of play it like you're having it in real life. So if you're not hitting any removal or protection, which I think those are the two main things, isn't that your probably biggest interaction stuff? Your counter spells, that would count as your removal. And
right.
So,
for me, counter spells are really, really tough. And since we don't play it a whole ton, that is something that I do struggle with. I generally don't consider it as removal, though I also try and consider it protection, which is, again, a little bit different. So when you're thinking about it as the removal spell, you're going, okay, when is this player going to play this? Do I have enough counter spells in my hand to be being aggressive or not, or whatever? When I look at it as a protection spell, I can hold it in my hand like a Teferi's Protection or a Heroic Intervention, and that kind of thing allows me that's definitely a mindset that I'm more in, is protecting my stuff rather than removing people's stuff.
And that's a very good point, because there are a lot of times when I'm doing the gold fishing, I'm like, this is an important turn. I don't need my things to die, so I'm holding back instead of trying to get everything out of my hand and being like, oh, efficiency, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I hold back and I'm like, okay, let's pretend this is when somebody's going to try to kill my shit. I'm leaving my stuff open so that I have protection and stuff. So I actually do play it like I'm interacting with somebody that's going to take out my stuff. And I think everybody should too. Like, don't make it so that you don't have removal or protection stuff in your deck, because goldfishing, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
You want to hit those. They need to be sitting in your hand. Of course, you're not playing them every turn. So that's why I said every 6 to 8 turns, if you're not hitting a removal or protection, or you probably are a little light on it. And for example, Duke. That Duke deck, I had to add in like heroic, not heroic, no, I wrote it down here. Heliod's Intervention, because I was too much on theme of removal based on everything. And so I added a couple. That was the best example, is Heliod's Intervention. But I added more because I didn't have enough spot removal. Like even goldfishing, that wasn't getting in the wild. I added that after I got to recording the spotlight videos. I played it like 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, it just feels really light. I don't have any interaction with anybody else's stuff. So then I changed things out. Okay, so we got a lot of questions here.
And going with like, if it's, I think if you're saying, okay, so let's go back to the question and meld it with Jeff's here of how many times you play it when you're adjusting your lands. Let's just ask the general question. How many times do you goldfish a deck?
Yeah, that's what I actually thought. I didn't catch his land part, and then when you were talking about playing.
Yeah. So what do you have a number that you try and do?
No, but it all depends on the deck. Like, I will say Tom the Bomb Voltron is the most goldfish deck I've ever done. There's a lot of things, which is, we're going to hit a couple points in a little bit on this, and maybe we hit it now too, is one, the piloting of it is tough. It's the hardest deck I've ever had to play. And so that's one good thing about goldfishing.
Going back to, the why, you learn your deck.
Right. You learn what you play it enough with goldfishing that when you're going to search for a card or knowing what answers you have, you know what's in your deck. You've played it enough. You know how you win the game. You know what cards to get. You aren't taking those 15, 20-minute turns. You know how the deck flows, what you need in that situation. So that is one really big positive with it, because, when you let somebody borrow your deck and they play it out, they play it probably 50 to 75% slower than you would play, because they don't know what they need to go get. And so goldfishing helps you get it so that when you get it into the wild, it flows quickly. You know what you need to go get. What was the other part? You
can learn interactions within your deck that you may have missed.
Right. That's a good point.
That happens to me generally once per deck, or I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's nice. Or sometimes it's like, oh, that's that's over the top, I take that out.
Right. You got,
you know, like
infinite
there
combo
are
you
those
didn't realize. Yeah.
Yep. So learning your deck is super, super important. And that's why the other thing that I said earlier was I try and play really fast. I basically try and play an entire game within that 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm doing that, though, when I'm playing fast, I definitely make mistakes, but then you learn from your mistakes as long as you remember them and go, okay, I missed this trigger. And sometimes you kind of created a bad habit. I do that sometimes.
Or then when you get in real life, you start doing the same thing.
Right. Like if you've missed it enough, then that gets in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you've kind of gone, oh, you know what? I'm playing this wrong. This is how that works. I should do that. And so like I've ingrained it a little bit when I play wrong with it, which sucks. But generally you catch stuff eventually and it changes. But I don't have any limit. Again, not helpful, but
but you
with
going back
within
to
a
your
week
question,
of building a deck,
yeah.
Within a week of building a deck, I probably goldfish it 5 times a day for the week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's
and then I, if I'm onto a new deck, I kind of start focusing on that a little bit, but I never stop goldfishing it either. Right. It's something that I enjoy and I find fun.
Yeah.
And that's part of like the switcheroo part.
Yeah.
If there are cards, like a lot of them that I worked on last night, I put in about 10 new cards and, 5 to 10 range. And that's a lot of cards percentage wise. And I should go through them. I'm not going to have the time before SmithCon, but I should. And so, but I kind of know how the decks play. But also when they're new, like Shalai and Halara, I was going through and I was kind of playing it and it wasn't doing its thing like I wanted it to. And that's why I told, when people give you suggestions, even though I'm like, maybe not. No, I don't think so. Came back and told Doji, I was like, you know what? The World Tree one, that's a really good suggestion. And so it's on its way type thing. And hopefully I get
even a proxy of it.
Play. Nice. It's on its way. I don't think it's going to make it.
Oh, do you want one for SmithCon? Because I can bring one.
Because again, I'm not going to have that time to switch it in. I don't have a place for it yet. I just want it, and then I can fit it in. When I have the time. So it is what it is. But when he suggested it, I was like, I don't think that's the way the deck is going because I wasn't done with it yet. Now that I have goldfished it 30 to 50 times, I'm going, you know what? This would be perfect in there. Actually, I was very wrong. And that happens all the time.
Oh, wait, you gave credit to somebody? That's odd.
I give credit to people. We're talking about all right.
2 dimes and a nickel, buddy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I see what you did there.
Little shots, just little dabs. Okay. So shit. I had a point there. I did that.
So I would say at least 30 to 50 times goldfish if you're into it.
So that's the thing is I will say once I get the deck built and I like where it's at, I've goldfished it enough, I've done all that stuff, I've played it in the wild, I no longer goldfish it. Like then it's in. Like,
but you don't change anything either, right?
Right.
Once it kind of does its thing, you're like, deck is done.
Yep, it's good. It's done. Yep. I move on to the next thing. I have been doing now because we do it, the switcheroo thing, upgrades once a year, maybe. The last one was Eureka. Was it Eureka? No. It might have been Eureka. I think I did upgrade Eureka, but I was going to say Akiri, I completely revamped last year at SmithCon. Remember right before
That's a
SmithCon.
Revamp. Yep.
But anyway, so I won't goldfish them again once they've made it into the wild and now I'm playing them. Now it's just playing them, trying to get play in doing that. It's then move on to the next one. But I'm probably
what if it doesn't work?
I give up on it and go on a different deck.
I was gonna say
build a better
that doesn't
deck.
Happen.
Yeah.
It always works.
No,
I'm a badass deck builder.
No,
that's my Adam voice. A little gruffer.
I tried to.
I'm a badass deck builder. That's me. I'm Adam.
I'll give one example. That would be a nice.
I have a tin of Grizz in my pocket, but I don't use it. That's basically your voice.
I didn't even sound like that when I chewed. I wish I did. I would say the deck that I'm most disappointed in is my mill. Bruvac was brutal.
Oh, Captain N-word.
Yeah, Captain N-word. Bruvac was brutal, and I became a target instantly, so that I had to change that. And then Captain N came out, and then it's won one game. I just haven't been happy with it, and I don't think I want to go back and change anything with it. But I believe there is a new Mill Commander-ish in the Lord of the Rings set. I think I saw.
Okay.
So I may kill that and go to that. So I want Mill to work, but it catches so much hate that I almost don't feel like repairing it. I guess what ends up happening is a new commander comes out and then the deck just changes to that. So Ilharg changed to Perforos. Yeah. And so it kind of does that. I guess if
it's not doing its thing, it seems like what you do is you just change the deck and you do like you make it similar, but if you can.
Well, typically there's so many damn commanders out there. You can find
something that's going to fit it
better that what I want to do.
I think that's a good thought process. I don't do that. I don't think I do that.
No, you build like 17 Calamax decks because you have plans for more Calamax.
Well, no, yeah, that's a little bit different too. But shush,
you did. So you just put it on Discord today. You said I might do a new Calamax deck.
I might do a poison Calamax deck. What's wrong with that? That's
it's everything against what you do. Poison? What? I don't even know you anymore.
It's green, red, blue poison. There's no problem there. It's fine. All right.
Oh.
Okay. What's the point of what we're talking about here?
Oh,
all right.
Okay,
so we're talking about our land base. We've talked about how many times we would technically goldfish. Okay. So technically, I
think you're at a right number. 30.
We're saying, 50? How do you know? Yeah. But how do you know like it's working well in your when you're goldfishing, but not in the wild? So that would be the thing is probably your expectations of what the deck is doing. Maybe some of the things that you should be looking for are different than what actually happens in a game. So you might want to try and realign what your thought process is on what a deck is doing. 2, need to realize or gauge how much of a threat your deck actually is. And so it's always hard to know when you become the arch enemy and everybody's picking on you. Like if just understand, this is how I look at it. If I get to the point where everybody's coming at me, the deck did what it was supposed to do, even if it's not going to win, even if you're going to get picked apart because everybody has more resources than you do. That's a win in my book personally, but not for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that if you become the arch enemy and you dislike having the loss off of that, either you need to learn.
You either need to play more.
There's a lot of things, but learn not to go all out, like play back a little bit, or understand that your commander is an instant target, or understand that you are an instant target as a player. Mm-hmm. That could be a possibility. So there are a lot of different aspects that can come into not just deck building when it comes to playing in real life. And so that's hard to gauge as well. But I would say, if you get into that 30 to 50 goldfish range where a deck, and again, we're both in that 10-minute range for a part. You're saying 6 to 10 turns. I'm going all out. What I'm looking for when I'm goldfishing is, do I run out of cards?
Oh,
am I not able to?
Literally writing down was we didn't talk about that yet. But yes, if you end up playing your whole hand out and you end up top decking, you need more draw. Like that's another thing. Like okay, so then keep going. That was the next point. I was writing it down to get that.
Well, we can go through this stuff. If you run out of cards, you need to add in more draw. If you have cards stuck in your hand, like you can't play them all out, either you need to figure out how to get more ramp into what's going on, or lower your curve so you can play multiple spells during a turn.
Yeah.
And so I was starting to read.
Yeah, it said if I get to a point where everyone is ganging up on me, fuck those people. That's what Jeff said. They hate us because they hate us.
But some people can get upset about it. And I like you, Jeff, but I've only met you once. I don't know how you react under a litany of different situations. You know what I mean? And so some people can get upset with that. Some people, I enjoy that to a certain extent, but
you enjoy misery is what you enjoy.
I enjoy getting picked on because it tells me that my deck did what it was supposed to do. And also the other thing too is when I'm talking about I try and play as fast as I can when I'm gold fishing, it's because I want to be more of the aggressor, which points the arch enemy at me, which allows me to be aggressive and make, have stuff happen on the board. So I feel important. But at the end I just get wrathed out and I'm done.
So can we change the logo to, instead of kill the Smiths, it should just, you're the one that started this all, kill the Lowry, not
it's my fault. Yes. But people don't understand that they need to do you because you're the one that generally would win.
No, it's because I combo. I do the thing that you just
combo.
said, not combo, but you know what I'm saying? My machine takes off, but I
Your
do the
engine.
thing. Thank you. The engine. I do the thing that you say, if you're getting picked on, hold back. I look as not threatening at all for as long as possible. And then it all just happens at once. Yeah. But you, that is
it's
a very
about
good,
2 turns.
I should write that down as an episode, but we have kind of done that. You are describing you to a T, because that is what you are. You're very aggressor. You are not holding punches, pulling back punches. You're going after people, taking out stuff, pissing people off, but you enjoy
If somebody's going to be like, I attack you with a 1/1, how the fuck first blood, some people can get mad about that. I'm like, I'm just trying to move the game along. That's all I want.
You're the nipple torturer. You just have the little torture twist on it. You just do a little bit here, a little bit there to everybody, so everybody gets pissed off and they come after Lowry.
But that's part of having a philosophy and how you want to play and how you find it fun. That's something that you as an individual are going to have to figure out and find out, because me and Adam have very different play styles. We have very different games, very different decks. We build in very different ways. And we know works. You all do that as well. You're all very different. But when you just kind of do stuff, you might not have you might not like stuff that you do and not even know it. If that makes sense.
Explain.
And so you can sit down and be like, oh, I want to play all these awesome big creatures. And then you get upset when you don't do anything the first 5-6 turns.
Yeah.
And everybody else, and you might be like, I like building with big creatures, but you don't, you the game doesn't go the way you want it to, because you don't necessarily think through, how do I get there?
Right. That's a good
point.
point.
What are you doing with the deck? What do you want to have happen with it? How do I make it happen? Are all different questions that I ask myself, at least. And that's where Shalai and Halar came into play. I was like, I want to be what adds counters to everything whenever something happens?
What? The proliferate?
Yeah, proliferate. Thank you. God. Because I was going to say populate, and I knew that was not right. And I've done that a ton. And so better be the problem than try and solve the problem. Yeah, that's very true. That's probably my aspect of too. We're in the same.
You're a mix of the two. You typically have the answers of the problems. I
just hold on to it.
Well, but the thing is you do. I think you do too. Because what Lowry's quoting is what Jeff said is, my approach to Commander is, it's better to be the problem than try to solve the problem. You are the problem.
Right.
A lot of times. But then you also always have, like, you're the one taking out the things that could be threatening. You are the one that, I would say, you remove the most stuff. You're very spot removal, but this could be a problem and taking out. So that ends up being the same thing in a way, because you become a problem because people get pissed that they're not able to do their thing. And so then it kind of feeds into it. And you like it. And then especially when it goes off and no one can stop what you're doing. It's glorious is what you're doing.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. I agree. I get to be a cocky asshole.
Especially when you get to be a cocky asshole.
That's so good.
And my favorite is when I get to go, I told you so. Why did you guys not kill him? You guys didn't listen.
So, I mean, let's not focus on me here.
Okay,
let's talk about, so like when I'm building Shalai and Halar, right? And I go, I want to have it to be proliferate, and I want these creatures in here, and I want, the counters to happen. And then I'm just kind of going like, a lot of these don't actually have like counters when they come into play. I need something else that adds the counters, and proliferate doesn't work unless things have counters. And so either I had to cut proliferate or add in creatures that give themselves their own counters, which is like,
that's a whole nother avenue you're going down.
Right. You're talking about decisions, but what you're doing is you're talking about how the deck plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn those kind of like I wanted all these cards when I built the deck, it worked, or it had all the cards that I wanted to have. And then in the end, it just wasn't going to work. And so the next question that I asked myself is, how do I make it work to do what I wanted to do? And that's where the World Tree comes into play and go, you know what? I'd rather have it be this kind of deck where it multiplies the amount of counters that are on there. The proliferate is a bonus, but it does not have to be a main theme like it is. So you cut 6 to 8 cards, you add in 6 to 8 cards to help out what you actually want to have happen. And then the deck starts feeling much more the way of working.
And you got that all from Goldfishing running it through.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And so, you can I start figuring that out within the first 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going, okay, after a night, I sat down on the 2 Discords, ours and Exiled. I'm going, any suggestions? I can cut some of my ramp, but I need to add some draw, and then look for suggestions from them. And so then you start getting your balancing, like, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't have the card yet. I'll start working on it. And so I don't add it in until I actually have it on Mox Field. That's probably too honest, because it'd be good to see if it works or not before I even do it as well.
Right.
But
so, I'm going to go back really quick, because I'm going to piggyback on what you just said, though. When I was down to 120 cards in the deck, when I was building, 120 cards when I was building Tom, what it helped me figure out was the game winners for Tom is the auras that get on Tom. And so originally when I built it, it was 20 some sagas and 20 some auras, because they're all enchantment and enchantress style. What I realized is I just need the game winners on the auras. I use the sagas to draw through the deck and then hit the auras to win it. So the Goldfishing, what that helped me figure out is 10 was actually a perfect number for me to hit. There's an equal parts, 5 and 5.
10 what? Sagas?
No, auras.
Oh, okay.
Because sagas are the most important. Sagas are the thing that are controlling the board. Like all the sagas are doing different things. A lot of them are removal. A lot of them are sacrifice, having other players do stuff. So I'm controlling the board. In the meantime, while I'm casting those, drawing with 10 of them, 10 auras, I'm drawing enough that I'm hitting them, and I don't need them right away. They need to be, and those are how I win the game. So they shouldn't be something. That's what I figured out by playing it, because I was like 20 of them. I was just getting so many that I look like the threat right away.
They get stuck in your hand too.
Yeah, they're sitting
and
there.
So you can't go like, I'm going to play all these game-ending auras on Tom. Like you can do 1 to 2.
Right.
And so if you have more in your hand,
immediate threat.
Okay.
Like
I can, and I can pare that back a little bit until it's ready.
Right.
And then I know I'm going to have 1 to 2 in my hand to start having it go down.
So the 10 ends up being perfect when I've done the gold fishing. Is I'm getting the sagas all set up. They're doing their thing and doing that. And then I have my aura, maybe I have 1 in my hand, starting hand, maybe after turn 3 or 4. And then when Tom's ready to go, you play it on him and then you kill somebody. And then you go to the next person, you kill them. So it's not my normal kill everybody at once type of thing. It's a kill a player at once, which is, I guess Akiri did a similar thing. But anyways, what I was saying is the gold fishing is what made me realize that I didn't need an equal 50-50 split of my auras and my sagas. What I needed was sagas to stay at that 20 range and 50% of those auras, because those are my game winners. The sagas are what keeps the board equal, controlling everything with that. So I was kind of just piggybacking on what you were saying there. So
is there anything in your notes that we need to address?
Nope, I think we hit everything. We did a really good job of I will say this also can help you with can give you a typical wins on turn idea. So when your deck when you have interaction, but what I'm saying is like how I typically play it is I play until I'm like, okay, it's going off, and that's not saying I'm winning the game. I'm like, this is where if I'm at, like with, for example, Tom was typically around 7-8 is when it was going like crazy. Okay. And so then I'm like, okay, now this is a game. I maybe at that point have won the game, or not won the game, but I'm taking out players. So not going with deck levels and all that stuff, power level of your deck and all that stuff. Right. But we have talked about that before. Typically wins on whatever turn. It can help you figure out when your deck goes off. So that was that was my last point. But I felt like the piloting thing was one of the most, like, that was one of the last points I put on there. But learning your deck, I feel like that is, if you aren't gold fishing, this really does help you figure out your deck so that you aren't like a bumbling idiot when you're playing your deck for the first time and you're like, I do this, and it's going to happen still because you haven't played against other people, but at least you have an idea of what you need your deck to do. Like, how is it going to win? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. So I would say, like, for me, again, when it's deck building, like, I know that I like my land base, and oftentimes on paper, what I do is I look at my curve. So I'll put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6 over 6. And then I can see going like, okay, you know what? I have too many that are over 6, or I have too many that are in the 6+ range. I know that I want my pile to look like, 2s, 3s, and 4s are heavy. 1 is whatever, because I do play some tap lands. And so I don't expect anything on turn 1 necessarily, like that kind of works around itself. And so like, I have a feel for how I want a deck to look visually when I'm looking at the CMC curve. And that doesn't always work either, because sometimes cards need to be played at a certain time, not necessarily at their curve, right? Mm-hmm. So like removal's kind of in there. You don't just run a Wrath out on turn 4, right? You don't just do Swords of Plowshare on turn 1.
Like, throw out your protection in the first 3 turns.
Right. So those are things that that's the great thing about gold fishing, is learning, going, okay, I'm not going to run this out there right now. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But if I don't have those things in my hand regularly, then I need to add in more of those things. Or sometimes you can just kind of learn that the deck doesn't have the support that it needs. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's where you're like, this deck isn't going to work. I'm going to change the commander and have half this deck be similar, but add in a new infusion of idea, and this may work better.
Yeah,
it's okay to kill decks.
Right.
It's not for us because we're building new ones, and so we got to make the new ones work. But when you at home, the hotness. When you at home are just wanting to play a certain type of deck, you don't have to stick to the commander. You just want to make sure that energy works, or, you know, there's a ton of different ideas out there, but you got to figure out how to make it work and if it is. Because personally, I don't like Madness as a deck.
You built
I
one.
think I tried. It didn't work. It like I goldfished it enough times and I was like, this is not something. It's either something that I'm not going to play well, or there just isn't enough there. And so, and then you'll learn goldfish and you're like, this isn't a deck I want to take out. This isn't something that I would enjoy playing. Because if I don't enjoy goldfishing the deck, I'm not going to enjoy playing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the other thing. Because I do enjoy goldfishing quite a lot. And so, like,
that's why it turns into 30 to 50, because you're just like, oh, I just want to do it. Like, that's actually what I was doing was,
right.
I'd sit down. I'm like, I have 30 minutes. I'm just going to goldfish for a little bit. I'm just going to sit here and mess with the deck, see how it's working. Because you're excited to play it. It's the new
gets
deck.
Me a little zen and gets me, you know, the working with the deck. You can make your changes if needed. And you get to learn what's going on with it. There's so many benefits to goldfishing. I highly suggest doing it. And I do it as much as you can until you want to move on to the next deck.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you a certain number because you might get bored with it too. You don't want to get to the point where you're like,
I've already done this so much that I don't even want to play it. Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So you got to feel yourself on that too.
You remember when I said this was going to be a short episode?
Absolutely did. And I told you were wrong. All right. Tournament.
We're terrible at this. It's funny though. We are very consistent about,
hour 45.
Yeah. Whoa. Shit. That changed. That's not how it's supposed to be. Why is that so huge?
You're overlapping.
What did it do? You son of a bee. Can I shrink? Yes, I can. We're going to shrink it down here. We're going to do this kind of stuff there. You guys are seeing it on the fly. Hopefully the slideshow doesn't continue to be weird as we get into this. Okay, let me get the thingy. And
I'll be quick. I'll try and not.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
I got to cut it off there because we don't want to get flagged. All right, so we have the vehicle tournament. We had 8 matchups for the first round. We're going to go through this, and this is the first couple rounds are only going to be on YouTube. So I didn't announce that last week, but it is because it makes it easier because there's just a lot of shit to do. So Twitter, we only get like 5 votes, so that doesn't matter. Discord is a lot more than that. But for the first couple rounds, we're just doing on YouTube. So, all right, let's move on to our first round, our first matchup. So we had our Sweet 16, which was our only 16. So my number 1 pick, unlicensed hearse, going against, what is it again? It's something...
Servant of Luke.
Of Luco?
Bingo.
Luco.
Number
1 against number 16, Lowry. Where do you think this shook out?
I think this is going to be closer than I expected it to, but I'm going to say with Hearse. Hearse probably wins this.
This was the biggest blowout of the tournament.
Really?
87% for unlicensed Hearse.
Wow, because I saw enough comments on Luco to make me like, oh, I might have a chance.
Nope.
But no chance. Okay. Good pick, number 1 then.
All right, so number 1, that is our biggest blowout of the week. All right, so then our next one is your number 1 pick, which was the number 2 pick overall, Smuggler's Copter, going against my number 15, Clown Car, which thank you, Ibukaki, on that one. I actually had that on my list, but once you said it, I was like, I got to do it. Where do you think this shook out?
This is I like Clown Car a lot, actually. But I'm gonna go with Copper.
Yeah,
Copter. Copter, I hope.
It is 69%.
Sorry, Sal.
69%.
Yeah, baby.
So Smuggler's Copter moves on to the next round. Next up, we had Parhelion 2 going against what is it? Asika's
Chariot.
Yeah. So number 8, number 9.
This is a good seeding so far.
Yeah, this is a good
as
one right
as bad as I thought we did our picking. It's not bad.
Yeah. This one's
I'm gonna go with Chariot. I'm gonna go with
right,
Chariot.
Chariot, even though that your pick was Parhelion.
Right. Well, I'm a truthful person.
All right. Well, 54%
Close.
went to Parhelion. So Parhelion moves on. Yeah, that was
wow.
And remember, Asika's. I always want to say Asikia. Asika's Chariot was the #1 played vehicle. So that one got beat by Parhelion. The brutalness of Parhelion is pretty crazy. Like if it stays alive and you're attacking with it, you get 2 4/4s that are also vigilance, flying, and attacking. That's pretty crazy. So all right. Matchup number 4 was the Weatherlight completed against Cultivator's Caravan. You sniped the Cultivators from me, but we're number 7 Weatherlight against number 10 Cultivator's Caravan.
I'm hoping Cultivator's Caravan kind of pulled this out for being around longer. Weatherlight might just be too new and like a weird one, but that might also be a benefit for it. I don't know.
So this is also tied with the last one was a 54%. This is also a 54%. Right. So this is our 2 closest matchups of the first round.
Do I have to choose one? I'm gonna go with Caravan.
Caravan. All right, you're two. Yep, you got to choose. Weatherlight completed, made it into the next round with 54%. Right. So that is.
I knew it was close.
Yep. No, I was actually surprised. I like Cultivators though, because I've wanted to play that, and I just never makes it. But it's a great 3-drop. All right, then we have number 4 Sky Sovereign console flagship against number 13 Weatherlight.
I'm gonna say Sky Sovereign flagship crushed. Not the biggest, obviously, but it was a crushing.
It was a crushing. You are correct. 81% went to Sky Sovereign.
Yeah.
Sky Sovereign moves on to the Elite 8. Matchup number 6 is Reckoner Bank Buster, which that was number 3. I forgot to mention it got banned in Standard. Wasn't it Standard that it got banned?
It just got banned.
As we were like the day that we did this draft, it got banned. We forgot to mention that. I didn't see it until the next day. Going against what is it? It is
Night Paladin, I believe.
Night Paladin, that's right. Night Paladin, number 14. So number 3 against number 14.
I think Bank Buster probably wins this pretty big.
It is a very nope, not that one. Oh, it's not as big of a blowout, but it is 74%, which is a big blowout to
that's a big one.
Bank Buster. Yeah, Bank Buster takes that one down. Match number 7 was not a ship. Something ship.
I think the Nautiloid ship wins. Unfortunately, I think this is a closer matchup than it should be, but Nautiloid ship probably wins this pretty handily.
Also a 74% for the ship. N ship.
N-word ship.
N-word ship. And our last matchup, number 8. It is your number 6 Shorikai Genesis Engine against Mech Titan Core, number 11. How do you think this one shook out?
This is probably closer, but this has the potential for an upset. But I'm hoping that Shorikai wins this.
The winner is 81%. Does that help your?
All right, Shorikai wins.
You're right. Shorikai won that one, 81%.
I was worried about.
This is the first time in our first round we have not had an upset. Every higher ranked made it into the next round. Every
no upsets. I was looking for one, and
every underdog lost. So here is our matchups for this week, which the voting will begin on Wednesday. We have our Elite 8. Number 1, Unlicensed Hearst going against number 8, Parhelion, number 2.
Hearst probably wins that.
Yeah, and then our second matchup is Smuggler's Copter against Weatherlight completed. So number 2 against number 7.
Copter probably wins this one too.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, they're both 2-drops.
Yeah, well, look, I wasn't. We're trying to shorten up the episode. What are you doing?
Okay, sorry.
What are you doing here?
Match number 3 is Sky Sovereign against N-word ship. Number 4 against number 5. This one,
I think Flagship beats the ship. but it's going to be close.
The ship beats the ship. All right. Our fourth matchup is Bank Buster number 3 going against what is it? Shorkai?
Shorkai. You can't even say it now. What is your deal? Genesis Engine. I think that's going to be a good. That's close because they both do similar things.
One is banned though, and so that tells you how good it is.
And one is a commander, so people will love it. Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. You get at least one vote from Jacuzzi.
I get one. I got one.
All right, guys. This is SmithCon week. Look for us on. I might pop on the old live stream when we're there. So make sure you guys are watching or subscribe to us on YouTube because we may do some live streaming, not of games, just seeing how things are going. Check out pictures and stuff if you want to see us on Twitter. We'll post those things there. But yeah, SmithCon 2023. Hopefully you guys can make it next year. For those that are coming this year, look forward to seeing you guys and getting a shit ton of games, whirly ball, all that fun stuff. That should do it for this week. You guys will hear the whole recap of everything next week and Lord of the Rings. I fucking can't wait for that. But
it's been pretty active on the Discord for Lord of the Rings.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, that should do it, guys. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Hang on. I didn't get to
love boobs.
Thanks for listening.
I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Just made it.
Finish.